Hello Twin Flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with your daily energy check. Today we're going to do a classic reading. I got all of my decks ready and I'm ready to get started. Unfortunately, I didn't do the reading while the light was still on. During the daylight, so you can't see the beautiful view that I have outside, but I'll promise you to show tomorrow. I moved to Kauai, to another island in Hawaii, and I'll be staying on the island for about 10 days. A few days here in Kapa'a area in the east, and then I'm gonna move to the northern part of the island to Princeville. And of course I will be exploring the island as always, as usual. Yeah, I actually have some plans in the coming couple of days. We'll see how it goes. I'll update you guys. If I'm not on the channel doing readings, you'll know why. But yeah, with all honesty, it's a beautiful island. Unfortunately, it's windy and rainy today, or it was windy and rainy today. And you can probably even hear the wind whistling through the pipes and just outside. It's pretty crazy. But I was promised that it's gonna pass in a couple of days, so I'll be waiting. In the meantime, let's see what's going on with DF and DM. I'm starting with an oracle deck, and as always, we'll pull a card for DF first and then for DM, and then we'll move on to tarot to see what's going on with energies of each of the twins and the connection. And finally, I've got my Hermit tarot deck. It's been a while, I know, so that we can take a look at we can get messages between the twins from my talking cards. All right, so Divine Feminine has got the card Ascending the Mountain. Keep going forward. Yeah, so ascension is in progress, basically. Wow, that was pretty cool. Ascension is in progress. And you see how the mountains are all different color, right? So it's not, to me, it's immediately saying that it's not the same ride at all times. Like, it doesn't look the same necessarily. And oftentimes, if we see that there are changes, we may think that we're off track, right? Or off the path. This could be literal, of course, it could be figurative when we're talking about twin flame journey or spiritual journey. So to me, this is saying, don't get discouraged if it looks different. That's because that, to me, actually, in my personal journey, it usually signifies that I am growing, that, you know, it's like, it's part of that ascension process where, okay, you've been doing enough of this stuff, right? Now you do some of that stuff, because variety is important. And even my biomechanics coach keeps saying that you need to change the stimuli, right? Otherwise the body gets used to what it's been experiencing, and it just kind of doesn't, there's no challenge anymore, right? And that's where progress is, in that kind of zone. And it's important to know, like, to challenge yourself just enough, right? Not to get your body into stress, but still it's important to do that, not to get too comfortable either. Otherwise your workout wouldn't be as useful. And the same applies actually to the spiritual journey. So yep, it's changing, but you're encouraged. It's not to stop you, it's kind of like the next course, right? Like if you are getting an education, higher education, for example, right? It's like you've graduated from that course and you're taking on the next one that had the previous course as a prerequisite. So you couldn't skip it. You couldn't do it the other way around. That's the thing. Whoa. Okay, keep shuffling, Victoria. I am tired because of the flight and because I'm still doing a lot of work in New York hours. And right now, my time, Hawaiian time, is 9 p.m., which is very late for me. It's even 9:30, like closer to 10 p.m. So I'm exhausted. Speaking of which, I have published all the horoscopes, so check those out on my other channel. They are worth checking out. So the masculines have got solitude. In silence, peace prevails. Yeah, so to me, this is like a nudge that masculines, if you feel like, you know, the circumstances just align for you to be by yourself, again, don't freak out and don't think that something is wrong, or like your friends don't want to hang out with you anymore or something, right? It can be like that for a reason. For again, speaking of my personal experience, I don't necessarily always feel like it's meant to be, like it's, you know, my higher power is doing it for a reason. But I always turn, so that part is kind of harder for me right now to get into, but I always think about all the opportunities I get was using the time, you know, either doing some quality time with like studying or publishing content, or you know, like doing something productive for my business, for my mission, or even myself, right? Like studying, I'm taking a few courses right now, and if I have like an extra minute, it's great. If I have an extra 2 hours, wow, that's amazing. Or at the very least, if I'm not really in the mood for that, then at least you know, entertain myself, have some fun, and do stuff that would be hard to do with other people, or would be hard to do with specific people that are around, that are available at this time, because we just, you know, we don't have that in common. And it happens with all of us, right? Because we share certain interests usually with our friends. We don't share every single one of them. So there's, even if there is like let's say there are a couple of people who are very close to you and you have a lot in common, so it wouldn't be everything. And if you think about it, I'm sure you can come up with something that you don't really get to do with those people, because they either don't get it, don't like it, or something else, right? And you just never do it. Okay, let's get into the tarot finally. The Dreaming Way Tarot. What's going on with Divine Feminine right now? I don't know where all these speeches are coming from, but I do get a lot of ideas generally speaking about the content, and I have 2 ideas for my next article, so we'll see what I'm actually gonna come up with. But I do have sightseeing plans tomorrow and the day after, and they're pretty intense, so I don't know if I'll have time for that, for the readings and for the article, but I'll definitely find time in the next few days. Okay, 6 of Cups, can you please clarify? It's a good start. Nine of Cups. Divine Feminine is seeing DM as this romanticized figure, you know, as somebody who is kind and has a big heart, but is a little bit lost and misunderstood in society. And this might sound like a cliche, but there's a new vibe to it, and why we're seeing it here, right? DF is showing, or just like energetically sending compassion to DM with everything that they're going through. There's like a new level of understanding what they're going through, right? A new level of appreciation of what you guys have and how special it is, right? Because even if you're not around, if you're not in frequent communication, there is, which for a lot of you that's the case right now, the memories, right? Because this is 6 of Cups, the memories and the memory, not just like memories of what we did together, but like the memory of the energy, of the vibration, it still serves as an inspiration. If you are, even if you're a million miles apart, even if you haven't talked in months, right? It's still there, it's still burning. That fire cannot be put out with anything. For masculines, we have 2 of Pentacles. What else? What else? Please clarify. And the Star. Yeah, so this is Aquarius energy. We are in Aquarius season as we speak. Divine Masculine, and this is also a continuation of the story that we've been seeing for like a good week at least. DM is trying to pinpoint where to go next to get closer to their big dreams. It's like at this point they realize while they're shuffling their day-to-day activities and trying to be on top of everything, and I'm getting the phrase "be a good boy," but yeah, it doesn't have to be a male person, of course. But yeah, it's like, you know, doing a lot of that hustle just to keep the fire, like the flames burning, right? That's the saying. Trying to keep the flames burning at home, at work, like with everything really, with family members, like could be parents, for example, right? And they realize, look at this card, how dark it is compared to this one, right? It's almost like yin and yang here. And while they're juggling 1,000 things, they understand that that's not how they want to live their life, and they're definitely unhappy. Although from like the distance, it might seem like they are or they should be, but they really acknowledge that they aren't. And they're looking towards, like, this is more like a brighter, lighter silhouette with hope in mind, right? That DMs are having that clear hope that there are bigger and better things out there for them, even if they don't really know what it is. And that's the confused face in the darker card, right? It's like, not sure what I'm doing wrong. Why am I, it feels like I'm digging a hole for myself. I am a good person, I'm working hard, you know, like the boxes are checked, but something is still wrong. Otherwise, why would I be in this situation? Okay. And that's actually pushing DMs more into that solitude mode, because they understand that they can't just talk to anyone, well, you know, even among friends and family about it. Because from the distance, it will look like they're supposed to be happy and everything is okay, right? And they're like, yeah, I can't even explain it to myself yet. How would I explain it to another person who knows that my life is going well and they're happy for me, and they wouldn't want that to change? Okay, energy of the connection with the Witch's Tarot. What's going on between the twins? The Wheel of the Year and Knight of Cups. Wow. There is a divine timing at play. I apologize. And it's also interesting that the World card in this, oh sorry, this is the Wheel of Fortune actually. I was seeing the World somewhere. Oh, it was at the bottom of the deck for the twins. The Wheel of Fortune has actual seasons here, right? So it's bringing us more to the idea that there is a season for everything, right? And if love is not openly expressed at this point, then it's not its season, right? It doesn't mean that something is going wrong. It's just that this season is intended for something different on the journey. And now, like, the task is really to understand what it is about. And I'm not even talking about each twin individually. Thank you for correcting me. I'm talking about the twins together as a dynamic, as a unit, right? Like, maybe right now it's not really about being together as a couple or saying I love you or whatever, right? It's something else. And that, again, I'm getting the ideas again about, you know, even if we are not talking to each other, we still feel each other, we're still connected, right? We're still influencing each other in what we do. And let's say I'm doing this travel, I don't even know how to call it, let's say project. I have a mind of a project manager by now. Like, it's very much engraved in my mind. So yeah, why not? It's this travel project that I'm doing for a few months, right? And obviously my DM is not around, and not many people are around in general, to be honest. But I know that with what I do, even if I don't have all the details, but deep down, I know very well that I'm contributing to our journey, and not just to my journey, not just to my personal growth. I like how the light changed at this moment. I mean us, him and me, us together. Like, it's serving us well. And there are certain lessons that we're supposed to learn apart from each other, and B, how do I say? If I was limiting myself to what we can do together, I wouldn't be taking this trip at all. And there's a lot that I'm doing here, and I still will be doing things that I wouldn't be able to do otherwise, or wouldn't experience otherwise, right? So don't tie yourself down to your twin. That's another thought before I pull the messages. And again, if we talk about my situation, it wouldn't be right to just stay where I was just because my twin was there. Yeah, it would have been easier for the both of us, to be honest, for several reasons. But I understand that my decision shouldn't depend, in this case, on my twin and where I am with my twin. It should depend on solely my own decision, where I am with my life and what I want to do next, right? If it means staying in New York where he is, okay, fine. If it means going a very long way from there and doing my own thing and not talking for weeks, then that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And yeah, it can be hard to reprogram that part of the brain, right? Because again, we start hearing voices and those cliches from society that, you know, you found your person, you're supposed to be close to each other, right? Like that support and, like, you know, getting even closer. But if it's not in alignment, that's the key rule, a more important rule. If it's not in alignment, it's not gonna happen. Like, you're not gonna get what you want from it, right? So why bother with it? And you'll always be like pushing against the grain, or like cutting against the grain, right? Pushing upstream. So it'll be a lot of work and not much result. And I've learned it the hard way. But now I'm still learning, but I'm much farther and much better at following the flow and surrendering without having to overthink it too much. Messages from DM to DF, please. Okay, and we're gonna finish here. I don't want to make it too long. Gossip only hurts more. Listen to your heart. Yeah. So DM wants to say, if you're hearing some stories, if you're seeing some posts on social media about what I do, what I'm up to, who I'm spending time with, just know that it's a mask. It's a social obligation, and it's something that I'm figuring out, you know, how I feel about it and why it doesn't feel good, even though it's supposed to. I still haven't. It's work in progress for me. But if you listen to your heart, you will definitely know the answer about us and about this love. You will know where you are, and you will know that how much I love you. Messages from DF to DM. Whoa. Okay. I think so, yes. That's a good start. You're so very special. Words do hurt. I'm sorry, and happiness is my priority. Yes, so oh my, there's a lot to unpack here, but I would just say that DF wants to say that, you know, sometimes it's hard to put what you feel and, you know, energetically the messages you're getting into words. And sometimes we try, but we make it worse. Like, and sometimes it's better not to try to do that, because it's not gonna give us the result we're expecting, right? Like, it's not gonna help really. It might make things worse though. So right now, although DF definitely acknowledges that you divine masculines are very, very special to them, they want to focus on their happiness and their priority and not think too much, and like keep experiencing these energies and keep working with them, right? Keep creating something happy and creative and useful for people, right? and not worry too much about the connection and what it looks like and who says what, which is fair enough. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you very much for joining me today, guys. I really hope that for my next reading I'll be able to show you the view from my living room. It's amazing. And yeah, there will be more spots to do the readings for sure, and I'll be exploring some of them tomorrow and the day after. So yeah, Kauai is a beautiful place, and I can't wait to experience more of it in the next few days. Bye everyone.